There was a 10-year-old boy who was involved in a car accident. Na disgrasya sila ng pamilya niya, and this boy lost his right leg. So, amputation ang nangyari. Kawawang bata, 10-year-old. He cannot play, he cannot go out to have fun anymore. Wala na siyang kanang paa. And so this boy, who used to be happy and funny, started to become depressed and discouraged. Parang wala ng pag-asa. Ayoko na maglaro. And he became miserable. He became angry all the time. He is bullying other kids. And he doesn't want to go out anymore. He's gloomy and he's always hateful. Grabe. Miserableng buhay. And his parents are really sad to see him go that way. Parang pinagsakloban ng langit ang lupa at lupa ang buhay niya. Wala na. 10-year-old, depressed, suicidal, laging galit, nakasimangot lagi. One day, his parents made an investment in a company who made prosthetic legs. So gave the news to the boy, anak, magkakaroon ka na ng bagong paa. Prosthetic leg nga lang. So tuwan-tuwa yung bata. There was a smile on his face for the first time in months. There was a twinkle in his eyes. Parang biglang sumigla. Sabi niya, ha? Talaga, Daddy? Sabi niya, pero anak, sabi ng mga scientists na gagawa ng paa mo, susukatan ka, mga 1 year pa bago makuha mo yung bago mong paa. And the boy said, it's okay. Woohoo! May paa na ako. I'll be having a new leg. A brand new leg. So he ran out of the house. He was jumping. Kahit wala siyang paa, he was trying to run. He was just trying to have fun and playing with his friends again. He was smiling again. He's not angry anymore. Night and day ang ugali from a miserable 10-year-old boy who wanted to die and who hated the world and hated everyone. Now this boy is jumping without one leg. He was just screaming and just having fun and having the time of his life. You know, that story gives us a glimpse of our own personal journey. Na ang buhay daw natin kapag ka nawalan ka na ng pag-asa. Pag tinapos na at sinabi na, 6 months ka na lang, tegok ka na. Pag sinabing, wala nang bukas, ayoko na sa'yo, hiwalay na tayo, parang biglang our world collapsed. Everything shatters. Parang bigla ka nang nagsusungit at bigla ka na nawawalan ng pag-asa. Biglang ang dilim ng lahat. But if we are given hope, when the future promises to be better than the present, then we'll live life fulfilled. Hindi payamanan, hindi pagalingan, hindi paramihan ng kaibigan, hindi paramihan ng nabili. Palaliman ng pag-asa. That is why our journey is like we were kicked out of the garden. Now, we are on a journey waiting for the new city. A city built by God. The Bible says, we live in tents. This body is a tent, a fragile, temporal habitation. One day, God will replace it with a building built by the hands of God. Ibang klase parang yung buong Biblia, binibigyan tayo ng pag-asa. It gives us a glimpse of the ending. Yung katapusan. The ending, the future is good. We win. God wins. And so, may pinagdadaanan kang cancer, may pinagdadaanan kang gulo sa buhay niyo mag-asawa, may pinagdadaanan kang utang, mayroong gulo sa mundo. Ay, Lord! But when we know that the future is brighter than the present, that the promises of God are true, then we live, we smile at the storm. We have so much troubles, but we have confidence. Ang gulo-gulo, dami mong utang, himbing ng tulog mo. Daming kaaway, daming problema, ang tamis ng ngiti mo. And that is the difference between those who have God and those who do not have hope. Hello? And that is the invitation for us of 1 Corinthians chapter 15. It's the beauty of the resurrection. And it's the power of hope in the resurrection. Kaya nga ang ating title sa umagang ito ay pinamagatang The Living Christ at ang ating future new body. Alam nyo na, no? The past few Sundays, we were talking about 1 Corinthians 15 and why Jesus is alive and why that reality, that Him coming back to life, becomes a reality and a hope and a confidence and a source of strength for all of us. Na kahit matindi yung ating pinaglalabanan, yung ating pinagdadaanan at yung ating tinitiis sa mundong ito, okay lang. Kasi mayroong Diyos na nabuhay muli para sa akin at ako rin ay muling mabubuhay. In other words, the resurrection is the strongest doctrine of the Christian faith. Kung wala daw pagkabuhay muli mula sa mga patay, wala tayong pag-asa. Each believer is presently awaiting for that future resurrection. It's like we're waiting for the restoration of all things. Our body, we're groaning for a new body. Our souls, we're thirsting and craving for that true fulfillment. Kaya hindi tayo masaya, lagi tayong aligaga, parang may kulang sa buhay natin. Why? Because this world is not our real home. We belong to a better home. One built by God. Kaya kahit na ang dami-dami mong pera, parang hindi ka masaya. Multi-millionaires jumping from 30-story buildings. Ganda-ganda ng asawa mo, dami mong kabit. Why? Because something is missing in our lives. Daming pagkain, di nag-uusap. Hello? Can you tap your seatmate? Parang ikaw yun So when we do not have God in our lives, even though you seem to have everything, you have nothing. But if you have God in your life, you have the hope of the resurrection. You have confidence and faith that the future is better than the present. Even though you do not have everything in the eyes of the world, you actually have everything you need for life, even in the next. There was one time nasa punerarya ako, may pinaglalamayan hong bata. And the mother was crying and telling me, Pastor Mike, nasaan kaya yung anak ko? Where is my daughter now? Will I see her again? Grabe, yun yung mga tanong natin, kapag kami namamatay, makikita ko ulit si Mami. Nasaan na kaya siya? Especially when the loss is tragic. Meron akong kaibigan na nalunod ho sa beach, hindi nakita ang katawan. Sabi ng mga mangingisda, kinain na ng pating ang katawan. Lord, paano kaya yun? Meron namang mga natupok yung bangkay nila sa sunog. Nothing but dust. So the Bible gives us a glimpse what happens to our bodies when we die. And then, it promises a new resurrected body. So that's why John chapter 5 verses 28 to 29 says, Don't be so surprised. Indeed, the time is coming when all the dead in their graves will hear the voice of God's Son. Sabi niya, and they will rise soon. They will rise again. Those who have done good will rise to experience eternal life, and those who have continued in evil will rise to experience judgment. Meron daw talagang pagkabuhay ng mga patay. Lahat tayo bubuhayin, mabuti o masama. We will experience this resurrection. Sabi niya, huwag kayong magtaka dito, dadating ang time na maririnig ng mga patay ang mga boses ng Son of Man. Si Jesus yun. Lalabas sila sa mga libingan nila, babangon at mabubuhay yung mga gumawa ng mabuti. At yung mga sasama, babangon din sila, pero paparusahan sila. That's a picture of the future resurrection. That is why Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15:23, he says, when Christ comes again, those who belong to Him will be raised to life. Sabi niya, pero sa time na bubuhayin ng bawat isa, si Christ ang pinakauna sa lahat. Tapos pagbalik niya, bubuhayin naman yung mga taong sumusunod sa Kanya. See? The Bible is replete with passages. Ako, dami, sandamakmak na mga pangako. Mamamatay ka pero bubuhayin ka uli ng Panginoong Jesus. That's why John chapter 11, 25 to 26 says, Jesus said, I am the one who raises the dead and gives them life again. Anyone who believes in me, even though he dies like anyone else, shall live again. Ang ganda! Woohoo! He is given eternal life for believing in me and shall never perish. Sabi niya, ako ang muling pagkabuhay at ang buhay, sabi ni Jesus. Mabubuhay ang lahat ng nananalig sa akin kahit mamatay sila. Kahit kailan, di mamamatay ang lahat ng nabubuhay at nananalig sa akin. Yes! Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. If you believe in me, even though you die, you will live again. This is the resurrection. Ito ngayon pag-uusapan, this part of chapter 15 is asking the question, what does the resurrected body looks like? Anong itsura nun, Pastor Mike? Yung binuhay muli na katawan. Kinain nga ng pating kinremate nga nagkalasog-lasog nga ang katawan dahil sa aksidente At wala na. At ginawan nga ng krimen, hinihiwalay-hiwalay nga yung kanyang katawan Pinagtataga. Anong itsura ng resurrected body natin? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin. But before we dive into that, what happens to us when we die? This is what the Bible says. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 7 says, your body will turn back into dust of the earth again, but your spirit, will return to God who gave it. Bago bumalik sa lupa ang mga katawan natin at magbabalik ang spirito sa Diyos na nagbigay nito sa atin. In other words, the body will go to the grave, whether it's cremation or living, mabubulok, uuurin yung ating katawan, maaagnas yung ating mga buto, but our soul lives, will go back to God. That's the intermediate state. And the soul waits for the body to be resurrected one day when Jesus comes back again. So ito yung sinasabi ni Apostle Paul, no? Away from the body to be present with the Lord. That means the soul, the inner you, the true you, will be with God, but your body will decay. Yan, no? Scriptures assures us that even though our body is buried, our souls are still living. Pag namatay tayo, yung ating kaluluwa ay maglalakbay pabalik sa Diyos in the spiritual realm. But this is just a temporary status of our soul. Because one day, the spirit, the soul, and the body will unite in a resurrected status. So today we'll talk about that. What does that look like? That body. Kasi itong katawan ko parang ayoko na Di ba? Ang dami kong taba. I am a few inches more than I used to be. Ang dami ko ng wrinkles, dami ko ng puting buhok, dami ko ng maintenance. Yung last nga na aming annual physical exam, naka 5 asterisk yata ako. Cholesterol, sugar, triglycerin, uric. Ano pa? Saan ka pa? Bingo ka na, Pastor Mike. 5 na yun Di ba? What does the resurrected body look like? Remember this. Dahil Jesus Christ came back to life, tayo na nagtitiwala sa Kanya, kahit tayo ay mamatay, we will someday also come back to life like Him. God will raise us to life at the resurrection day at bibigyan tayo ng Diyos ng bagong katawan, supernatural na katawan, at makalangit na katawan. Ang ganda! So we will talk about 3 important, powerful, beautiful truths today. Number 1, we will have a brand new body. In the resurrection, we will have a beautiful supernatural body. And during that resurrection day, we will have a beyond this world heavenly body. Pero teka muna, the background of 1 Corinthians 15 is this. There are people in the church of Corinth that are opposing the teaching of the resurrection. They're doubting it. There are first group of people na ayaw nila yung idea na mabubuhay muli ang ating mga bangkay, ang ating mga katawan, is some of the Jews. The Jews generally believe in the future resurrection. Pero merong mga grupo ng mga Hudyo na ayaw nito. They are known as the Sadducees. Ito mga Sadduseo, paniniwala nila, kapag natigok ka na at namatay ka na, yung bangkay mo, pagdating sa libingan, o mauuod, aagnasin, magiging alabok. That's it. Game over. There's no resurrection of the body someday. So they were opposing this teaching. They were doubting this. The second group of people, mas marami ito, these are the Greek in the Church of Corinth. The Greeks believe in a dualistic teaching. The body is dirty, but the soul is clean. Yan, that's dualism. The soul is pure and heavenly, but the body is carnal and immoral and lustful and hellish. Parang sa paningin nila, ang kaluluwa malinis. Yan yung pupunta sa Diyos. Pero yung katawang ito, madumi, malaswa, basura, at makasalanan. So they do not agree na ito, paano bubuhayin yung masama at madumi? No, the body will perish, but the soul will remain. That's Greek. That's why they are resisting the idea of the resurrection. But the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 15 is trying to invite the believers in Corinth to say that the body is valuable to God and the soul is valuable to God. That's why in the resurrection, both the body and soul will become one in a new resurrected status. Iba ang ginagawa ng Diyos. So this Christian teaching that the body and the soul are both equally holy to God and equally valuable to God is very, very important. Oh, grabe implikasyon nito sa atin, ha? Marami sa atin, parang tayong sinasabi natin na, okay lang hindi mag-exercise. Okay lang kahit anong kainin mo at kahit anong inumin mo. Kasi mahalaga naman yung kaluluwa lang eh. Yung kaluluwa lang naman ang mahalaga. Ito lang ang ililigtas ni Lord. Yung katawan, medyo hindi mahalaga. Well, that's where we are wrong. The Bible declares that the body glorifies God. That's why whatever you eat, whatever you drink, whatever you do, nag-exercise ka man, nagbabiking ka man, nagluluto ka man, everything you do in the physical realm can honor God. It's not just the soul. Hindi puro Bible, hindi puro pray, hindi puro kaluluwa lang ang inaalagaan mo. For many of us, if the body is sick, and the body is dying, and the body is unhealthy and toxic, the soul becomes toxic as well. Mapansin mo? Hindi ka kumakain, lagi kang gutom, lagi kang puyat. Sungit-sungit mong kausap. Pagka sakitin ka at hindi ka healthy, hindi ka makafocus kay Lord ng maayos. Hindi ka nga makapag-pray. Hindi mo nga maintindihan ng Bible kasi hilong-hilo ka na sa gutom eh. Hello? That's why the body and the soul is very, very important. So for the Greeks, they look down on the body as unimportant. But for the Apostle Paul, the resurrected body is real because the body and soul is important to God. So let's begin. This is number one. The first point of the Apostle Paul is this. On the resurrection day, we will have a brand new body. Bibigyan tayo ng Diyos ng bagong katawan. The point of the Apostle Paul is simple. The new resurrected body is different, although similar to the old body. That means na kahit na bagong katawan na ito, marirecognize pa rin natin kung sino yan. Si Pastor Mike yan. Kilala ko eh. Kilala ko yung ilong niya eh. Kilala ko yung tenga niya, ganyan yung mata niya. So, although it's a now brand new body, but it's still you. May continuity pa rin. So, the Apostle Paul used three analogies. The first analogy was the seed and the growing plants. This is what he said. Verse 35 to 38. But someone may ask, how will the dead be brought back to life again? What kind of bodies will they have? Sabi ni Apostle Paul, when you put a seed into the ground, it doesn't grow into a plant unless it dies. Sabi niya, malamang may magtatanong, paano mabubuhay muli ang mga namatay? Ano ang magiging katawan nila? And then he uses the example of the seed. Pag nagtanim ka, mamamatay muna yung butong tinanim mo bago yun mabuhay. And then he went on, he says, and when the green shoot comes up out of the seed, it is very different from the seed you first planted. For all you put into the ground is a dry little seed. Buto lang yun eh. Then God gives it a beautiful new body. Just the kind He wants it to have. A different kind of plant grows from each kind of seed. Sabi niya, at saka buto lang yun nung tinanim mo, pero hindi mo itinanim yung mismong halaman na malaki na, pero ang Diyos ang nagbigay ng katawan na gusto niya para sa butong yun. At ibibigay niya sa bawat buto ang tamang katawan nito. So the Apostle Paul is using a metaphor, an imagery na ang katawan natin ay parang butong tinanim sa lupa, mamamatay yan. Pero balang araw, bubuhayin ng Diyos, pero hindi na buto. Halaman na. Sinasabi niya, ganun din yung mangyayari sa atin sa resurrection. Balang araw, papalitan ni Lord ng bago ang ating mga sakiting katawan, sa ating mga tumatandang katawan. This body is frail and sickly and tired, exhausted, depressed, discouraged, but God will make all things new. This is also a glimpse of creation. One day, this corrupt world, this decaying creation, itong sanlibutan na naaagnas at nasisira at tumatanda at nabubulok na, papalitan ng Diyos. A new world, a new heaven and a new earth. Ganon din daw ang ating mga katawan. We will be given a new, brand new body, the resurrected body. And then he went on, he says, it is also similar to living creatures. Sabi niya sa verse 39, and just as there are different kinds of seeds and plants, so also there are different kinds of flesh. Humans, animals, fish, and birds are all different. Sabi niya, hindi pare-pareho ang laman ng mga nilikhang mga may buhay. Iba ang laman ng mga tao, iba sa mga hayop, iba naman sa mga ibon, at iba rin sa mga isda. In other words, in heaven, there will be different shapes and sizes, different personalities. Your personality will still be unique to you, and yet different from the old body, from the old former you. In heaven, we will still have our unique personalities and our looks, but it's a brand new body. Parang mystery din, na oo nga, ano kaya itsura? Of course, gusto mo pa rin yung sarili mo, pero kung dito sa lupa, na dito sa panahon natin, wala kang mata, sa langit, in the resurrected body, it's a brand new set of eyes. No need for glasses because it's a 20/20 vision. Di ba? When you lose some of your fingers here or you are sickly here, in the resurrected state, everything is brand new. Your liver, your heart, your organs, your skin, they're brand new. But it is still you. Yon, God can do that. If God can do that here with a variety of faces, in a variety of species, in a variety of different types of body, He can also do that in the resurrected body. In verses 40 to 41, now Paul talks about the imagery or the example of the planets, the sun, moon, and stars. He said, there are also bodies in the heavens and bodies on earth. The glory of the heavenly bodies is different from the glory of the earthly bodies. Sabi niya, the sun has one kind of glory, while the moon and stars each have another kind. And even the stars differ from each other in glory. Ibang klase ito, sabi niya, merong katawang panlangit at merong katawang panlupa. Magkaiba ang ganda ng katawan sa langit at katawan sa lupa. Iba ang ganda ng araw, iba ang sa buwan, iba rin ang ganda ng mga stars, at bawat star, iba-iba rin ang ganda. So Paul here uses the analogy of the difference between earthly existence and heavenly existence. Merong lupa, merong katawan na binigay sa atin ngayon na kaya ang habitation sa mundong ito. The body given to us, earthly body, he says, can survive planet Earth. But the resurrected body is different from the earthly body. It becomes a heavenly body. It can now survive eternity. It can last longer. So sinasabi niya, the earthly bodies is different from the heavenly bodies. And then he went on, he says, it's not only a brand new body, but it's a beautiful heavenly body, supernatural body. He says, we will have a beautiful supernatural body. Ayan, bibigyan tayo ng Diyos ng supernatural na katawan. We are struggling with this present body of ours. But one day, God will make it supernatural, superhuman. Ayan, So, first he said, our earthly bodies are buried in corruption, but they will be raised to life forever. That's what he said in verse 42 to 44. Sabi niya, in the same way, our earthly bodies which die and decay are different from the bodies we shall have when we come back to life again. For they will never die. Ganito din ang mangyayari pag muling binuhay ang patay. Pag nilibing ang katawan, mabubulok yon, pero pag binuhay na, hindi na yun mabubulok. kahit kailan. Galing, ano? The Greek word he used is pitora. That means subject to decay. That's our body today. It's subject to corruption. Madaling mabulok, madaling magkasakit, madaling mamatay, madaling tumanda. Tinan mo nga yung katabi mo. Madali magtumanda. Lahat tayo. We are all. Ba? Kahit anong chemical ang lagay mo sa katawan mo, lalabas pa rin ang ating mga freckles at ating mga pimples. Kahit na anong hair dye ang gawin natin, puputi pa rin ang buhok natin at makakalbo pa rin tayo. Nakakasilaw ka na, pare, kasi wala na yung buhok natin. Di ba? Or no matter how much we do, how much supplement we take, we will get sick eventually. Yun nga lang, iba sa atin mas matagal. Kasi mas healthy yung kinakain mo. And the Greek word he used for imperishable is the word aptarsia. That is the word for incorruptible. Actually, it's not just physical, ano? There's a spiritual component or a moral component to this. He's saying our bodies are perishable, corruptible. That means we're prone to corruption. We're prone to sin. Madaling matukso. Madaling magkasala. Madaling tumalikod sa Diyos. But one day, our resurrected bodies will no longer be tempted. We will no longer be vulnerable to corruption and to immorality and to sin. That's the resurrected body. Madali magkasakit, pero balang araw, no more cancer, no more sickness, no more sin, no more suffering, no more temptation, no more pain, no more traffic, no more stress, no more anxiety. And then he went on, he says, our earthly bodies are buried in brokenness, but they will be raised in glory. So parang yung katawan daw natin is filled with shame. It's embarrassing, he says. Verse 43, he says, the bodies we have now embarrass us, for they become sick and die, but they will be full of glory when we come back to life again. Pag nilibing ang katawan, pangit yun, nakakahiya. Hindi ka proud sa katawan natin sa lupa. Pero pag binuhay, maganda na yon. The Greek word he used for dishonor is the word for atimia. It's the word for disgrace. It's the word for indignity and shameful. Parang yung ating katawan ngayon, hindi natin maipagmalaki. It's full of flaws and imperfection. It's full of sickness. It's frail and fragile. It's like an imagery the Apostle Paul used to use is we are jars of clay. Mga ordinaryong palayok, madaling mabasag, madaling maluma. That's our bodies. But he says, when the resurrection happens, it will be raised in glory. The Greek he used is doxa. The word for doxa is the word for heaviness. Ang bigat. In other words, Paul is contrasting our lives today. Our lives are filled with struggles and temptations and trials and suffering and pain. Sabi niya, these are light and momentary compared to the doxa, the heavy glory that awaits those who love God. That our lives, in comparison to our future is better and brighter. The best is yet to come. So we endure while we suffer. We hang on while we wait. We groan, but we are also fulfilled. Parang A.W. Tozer, no? Lord, I have tasted of your goodness, but I want more. Lord, I am satisfied with you, but I'm still thirsty for more of you. And that is the not yet stage of our journey. We have Christ, but not yet. We have joy, but not yet. We have salvation, but not yet. The best is yet to come. That's what the Apostle Paul is saying. And then he went on, our earthly bodies are buried in weakness, but they will be raised in strength. Nilibing tayo, puro sakit, puro kasamaan, puro kasalanan, puro kahinaan. Pero bubuhayin tayo ni Lord. Malakas. He says, yes, they are weak, dying bodies now. But when we live again, they will be full of strength. Pag nilibing ang katawan, mahina yun, pero pag binuhay, malakas na yun. My wife is sick. Some of you know her story. She was diagnosed many years ago with a sickness called APAS. And this sickness has no cure. It's a chronic illness, an autoimmune disease, where the blood clots on its own and produces stroke-like symptoms. Parang lagi siyang nati-TIA, transient ischemic attack. Ang hirap po ng sakit na yun kasi hindi mo malalaman kung kailan na-atake. A few months ago, she was diagnosed with another chronic illness. This time it's called fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is when the brain sends pain signals to the body all the time. She's in pain, moment by moment. Iba-iba nga lang ng degree. A few days ago, she cannot move. She's in pain. And sometimes, the pain meds do not work anymore. Iyak siya. Akapin ko na lang. Minsan hindi siya makagalaw. Nirorolyo ko yan sa kama. Binubuhat ko. Bigat nga lang. Binubuhat ko papuntang toilet, papuntang dining room, papuntang bedroom. Sometimes, she's up and about as if the pain is tolerable. There were times, many times, she will ask me, Mike, bakit ba kasi hindi papalitan ni Lord yung katawan ko? And then she will joke and said, Mike, palit na lang tayo ng katawan. Akin na lang yung katawan mo. Sabi ko, ayoko nga. But that conversation brings me back to this truth. Oo nga, no? Lord, balang araw, papalitan mo itong mga katawan namin. Mga katawang madaling magkasakit, mga katawang madaling matukso, mga katawang madaling mapagod, manghina. Our frail and fragile bodies. Actually, it humbles us to realize na, Lord, mahihina po kami. Pero salamat dahil malakas ka. Remember the Apostle Paul? He was begging God 3 times. Lord, tanggalin mo naman itong kahinaan na to. You remember that? That passage fascinates me. Paul has what he calls a thorn in the flesh. Meron siyang tinik sa laman. And others will call that a weakness. Pastor Mike, ano yung tinik sa laman ni Apostle Paul? Nobody knows. It was not mentioned. Some people say it's a tumor in the eye. Others, it's a cancer-like disease. Others say it's a chronic illness that has no cure. Lord, tanggalin mo naman. Others say it's a person that bashes him or bullies him. Lord, tanggalin mo naman. Sometimes our thorn in the flesh are people, Look at your seatmate. Yan ba? And some people say the thorn in the flesh of the Apostle Paul is a sexual temptation that he has. He begs God, Lord, tanggalin mo naman. The Lord said no. No. For my power is made perfect in weakness. My grace is sufficient for you. Boom! That's why we're stuck in the not yet. Lord, ayoko na, hindi ko na kaya. Lord, wala bang gamot dito? Lord, paano ba maaayos ito? The Lord said, no. I will not fix you. I will not heal you. I will not give what you ask. My grace is sufficient for you. For my power is made perfect in weakness. Oh. So the Christian hope is this. Lord, kahit walang blessing, basta nandiyan ka. Lord, kahit walang pera, basta nandiyan ka. Lord, kahit walang sagot sa problemang ito, basta nandiyan ka. Remember that? That's Philippians, no? Pray. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind. It's not for the solutions of God will fix your problems, no. It's the peace of God. It's the presence of God in our lives. And so while we wait for the future, we hang on, we endure, we groan, we crave, and we wait. We walk by faith, not by sight. One day, faith will become sight. For the meantime, it's all faith. Faith is the assurance of what we hope for, We don't see it. We don't feel it. We don't, Lord, di kita maramdaman. That's faith. But we trust. We hope. We fight. We endure. That's what the resurrection does to us. One day, Lord, there's an old song that I love. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. And because I know He holds the future. Life is worth living just because He lives. We may not know what the future holds. Magiging ayos kaya tong anak ko? Gagaling pa kaya asawa ko? Magkasama pa rin ba kami buong pamilya? Lilipad ba tong negosyong ito? We don't know. But we know the one who does hold the future. That's why life is worth living for. And then he went on, he says, our earthly bodies are buried as natural, but they will be raised as spiritual. Oh, ganda. He says, they are just human bodies at death. But when they come back to life, they will be superhuman bodies. For just as there are natural human bodies, there are also supernatural spiritual bodies. Pag nilibing, physical na katawan yon, pero pag binuhay, spiritual na katawan na. Merong physical na katawan, kaya meron din namang spiritual na katawan. Ang galing, ano? So the Apostle Paul gives us a glimpse. This is our future. And sometimes, the future shapes our present reality. Those who do not have a brighter future to hope for, their lives somehow are miserable. But for us who hold on to a future promised by God, we can smile at the storm. We can have deep, deep peace while we are surrounded by chaos. Yun ang sekreto ng buhay. Hindi paramihan ng pera, hindi paramihan ng alam, hindi paramihan ng tagumpay. Palaliman ng pag-asa. Yun. Yung mga dumadaan sa cancer pero nakangiti. Yung mga baon sa utang pero ang himbing ng tulog. Yung ang gulo-gulo, ang daming kaaway pero may galak na galing sa Diyos. Yung may pinagdadaan ng pasang-pasang mahirap at mabigat at mapait. Pero may pag-asa. Ayos lang yan. May Diyos. May hawak ng buhay natin. Huwag kang susuko. And that brings us to the third point today. Apostle Paul gives us a glimpse. We will have a beyond this world heavenly body. Bibigyan tayo ng Diyos ng makalangit na katawan. Ang ganda, no? He says, the scriptures tell us that the first man, Adam, was given a natural human body, but Christ is more than that, for he was life-giving spirit. First, then, we have these human bodies, and later on, God gives us a spiritual heavenly bodies. Adam was made from the dust of the earth, but Christ came from heaven above. Makalangit na katawan. Sabi niya, nakasulat nga sa scripture, yung unang tao na si Adam, nilikha siyang may buhay. Pero yung huling Adam naman, ang espiritong nagbibigay buhay. Hindi spiritual lang nauna, physical muna bago ang spiritual. Galing sa lupa, ang unang Adam, kasi nilikha siya mula sa lupa. Galing naman sa langit, ang pangalawang Adam. He says, when he went on and he says, every human being has a body just like Adam's, made of dust. But all who become Christ's will have the same kind of body as He is. A body from heaven. Just as each of us now has a body like Adam's, so we shall someday have a body like Christ. This is full of hope, ano? Sabi niya, ang mga nasa lupa ay may katawang gaya ng galing sa lupa. At ang mga nasa langit ay may katawang gaya ng nanggaling sa langit. Kung paanong kagaya tayo ng taong gawa sa lupa, magiging kagaya rin tayo ng tao na galing sa langit. And so Adam was the leader of the human race, the first Adam, who led us into our spiritual fall. But Christ now, the second Adam, now leads the human race to a hope of resurrection for eternity. Magkaiba, no? The first Adam gave us the body built of dust. Tayo ay yari sa alabok ang ating katawan. It's but nothing but dust. But the second Adam, those who believe in Jesus Christ, we will receive a body that does not belong to the earth anymore. We will receive a body that is no longer dust. We will receive a body that is heavenly. The first Adam come from the dust of the earth. The second Adam, Jesus Christ, comes from the substance of heaven. Hindi na nagkakasakit, hindi na nagkakasala ang katawang galing sa langit. So the future, this beautiful, glorious future that we walk by faith to, our future shapes our present reality. Kaya kaya nating labanan yung pagsubok ng buhay. Kaya kaya nating tiisin yung hirap sa mundong ito. Kaya kaya nating magpatawad, magparaya, at magbigay kahit masakit. Kaya nating batuhin ng tinapay yung binabato tayo ng bato. Kaya nating patawarin yung mga inaalipusta ka at ang pamilya mo. Kasi this is not our real home. We're waiting for our heavenly home. Huwag kang magpakakampante at magpakasaya. We hold things loosely. Pag nawala cellphone mo, huwag kang magbartagol at magwala. Pag namatay yung mahal mo, huwag kang masyadong gigil. Ayaw mo nang mabuhay. Pag bumaksak ang negosyo, huwag kang tatalon. Because this is not our real home. Pag iniwang ka ng mahal mo, hindi pa katapusan ng mundo. This is not our real home. This body is not our real body. Something beautiful awaits us. Something far greater awaits us. Jesus said, I prepare a place for you. When I come back, I will bring you with me to that place. Problema, masyado na tayong masaya dito. Pag naubos ang pera mo, nagwawala ka. Nasunog ang bahay mo, wala ng pag-asa. Iniwang ka ng mahal mo, ayaw mo na. But those whose faith is anchored on a brighter future, bigyan mo ng cancer, nakangiti. Of course, masakit. Magwawala ka rin, pero may tahimik ng ngiti. Okay lang, Lord. Okay lang, Lord. Bigyan mo ng problema. Hindi nananapak. Walang sinasakal. Of course, masakit. May problema eh. Hindi maayos-ayos yung buhay ng anak ko. Hindi kami magkasundo ng asawa ko. Of course, masakit. Pero may tahimik. Mahimbing na tulog. Kasi, Lord, okay lang. Hawak mo ang buhay ko. I do not know what the future holds, but I trust the one who does know my future. Remember this. Dahil si Jesus Christ ay nabuhay muli, He came back to life. Tayo ay nagtitiwala sa Kanya na mabubuhay tayong muli kahit tayo ay mamatay. We will someday also come back to life like Him. God will raise us to life at the resurrection day. At bibigyan tayo ng Diyos ng bagong katawan, supernatural na katawan, at makalangit na katawan. Today we talked about 3 important truths, powerful, beautiful truths. Number 1, we will have a brand new body on the resurrection day. On the resurrection day, we will have a beautiful supernatural body. And then finally, we will have a beyond this world heavenly body when that day comes. Pagod ka na ba? Para bang walang gamot sa sakit? Parang hindi matapos-tapos ang doktor? Parang hindi matapos-tapos ang problema ninyong mag-asawa? At ang gulo-gulo ng pamilya? Ang daming problema sa negosyo? Ang daming problema sa mundong ito? Ganun talaga. Minsan walang sagot, minsan walang solusyon. Pero minsan meron din. God gives us a glimpse of grace, di ba? Pero sa totoo lang, the world will get worse. Suffering will continue. Our trials will not stop. But the Bible says, rejoice when you experience a variety of trials. Because the testing of your faith produces something good and beautiful. And something that we look forward to. Kapit lang, tiwala lang, huwag ka bibitaw. Let's also